Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades. Direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136. 888-888-2136 or at strongcreditrewards.com.
Nelson.
Good gravy.
A radio host.
Found myself 2 million short of a millionaire.
Barely understandable.
Gee, Monetti.
We can rebuild him.
Guy's bright as a napkin.
We have the technology.
You gotta work with design, vision, and focus.
Better than he was before.
It's not lonely in my head.
Funnier.
I'm staring at a bowl of spaghetti trying to figure out which two ends come together.
More informative.
Characters defined by what you do once you screw up, not if you make mistakes along the way.
And just as sarcastic.
You sausage.
Oh, come on!
Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
Welcome to KTLK AM 1150. You're with Nelson right here on Nelson Radio, and it is going to be one spectacular show. We're down at the Strand at the Headlands here in Dana Point. Dana Point, for those of you who are listening, is wedged right in between Los Angeles and San Diego, a fantastic beachfront community and one of the elite communities in all of the western states, I would think. I'm with my co-host, Phil Immel from the Immel team and the Real Estate Guru. How you doing, Phil?
Good, Rob.
Phil, a longtime veteran, I think now in your 37th, 38th year?
We don't count after 30.
Yeah, after 30.
Thanks for asking.
3 decades plus, one of our wily veterans from Orange County Real Estate and with Prudential California Realty down here in Monarch Beach. We're going to be taking a look at really Orange County's housing report, getting a quick update on what's taking place, some of the changes that's happening in the trend lines as we move through the summer months. In our show's theme, we're going to be taking a look at revitalizing. Last week we looked at innovators and had a great insight into some of the people that help shape the vision of where our real estate market is going. But this week we're looking at revitalizing, whether that's our community, careers, our individual performance. We're going to have Mike Powers from Greenfield Communications and Bill Brough, one of the city council members from the city of Dana Point, talking about their revitalization project as they kick off the construction of the village area, the downtown area of Dana Point. That's going to be a great addition to the city. We're going to head over to the founder and developer of the Strand project, Sanford Edward, and then great guest coming up as well. In our Coach's Corner segment, we're going to have Steve Beuerlein, former NFL quarterback, spent 17 years in the NFL, has a number of records, Pro Bowl, and I'm told a Super Bowl ring as well. I want to see when he shows up if he has that ring on. I've never seen one. Have you?
Not lately, no.
So let's get to where our market is. And I wanted to ask you, we had, obviously, you just reported what were some of the new trend lines that are taking place. Is our market continuing to grow in that gold rush kind of environment, or is it starting to soften a little bit? Where are we?
Well, last year, 2012, was the year of stabilization for all of Southern California real estate, be it foreclosure market, kind of waned away quickly, very quickly. The luxury market kicked in big time in the fourth quarter, Rob. And it took off like a rocket for about 6 months. From about October last year until about March, you couldn't buy a property. There was zero inventory. There was high demand. And all of a sudden, it cooled off about, say, April and beyond. And it's still healthy
and when you
stable.
say it cooled off in terms of that rampant pace that it was on, just dampened a little bit. I mean, it's still an extremely strong market. Wouldn't you bill it that way?
It's one of the best markets we've seen, since pre-recession days. And by that I mean, there's two parts of the market here. It's really bifurcated. You have the market below $1 million along the coastal area of Orange County and actually all of Southern California up and down. And that's still red hot. Interest rates are really great. Even though they've gone up a bit, there's still no reason not to buy a home. But the luxury market, which was dormant for a number of years, kind of follows what the stock market does. So as the stock market starts hitting all-time highs, and some of the executives have stock options and decide to get on with life and live where they want to live, they come to a place like the Strand.
And with that, the luxury market, do we still have the same surge or the huge influence of cash buyers, or is that beginning to dampen?
Well, in our group at the Immel team at Prudential, what we've seen is virtually 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10, are all cash buyers at these price points.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. I'm with Phil Immel, Prudential California Realty right in Monarch Beach. You can contact us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And I wanted to ask you, with the volume of properties that are now seeing some appreciation, people have equity again. Is that changing the marketplace?
It really has. Basically before it was just, doom and gloom and the foreclosure crisis happened. And as that subsided, all of a sudden now prices have jumped 20, possibly 30% in most of Southern California, in most neighborhoods. So now people that were underwater, the number of underwater properties has gone away quite a bit. There's still some, but it might have been 50% were underwater. Today we're maybe 20, 25% underwater. That's releasing a whole bunch of move-up buyers, which we haven't seen that market in 7 years, meaning that somebody wants to sell a smaller house, buy a bigger home for their family, been unable to because they were handicapped by being underwater on their mortgage.
And not having the choice or the forced decision of going through a short sale. So now they're at least getting out, maybe with a little bit equity, but able to start over and build up.
Right, and not only that, but some of the people that did short sales or even foreclosures during 2007, 8, 9, their credit is getting better, and that repair is coming back where they're allowed now to go back out and obtain financing.
Phil, I wanted to ask you, because last week we were talking about the overzealous sellers that just drive that stake in the ground and said, you know what, if somebody writes a check for $1 million for this home, I'll sell.
Right.
Is that still out there?
It is. The market always lags a bit. What we find is, they heard that their neighbor sold their home for X number of dollars. Well, they think, well, of course, my home is my castle, and mine's worth 20, 30% more. So the inventory that was very scarce at the beginning of this year is now up 73% year to date. Just in the last 90 days, there's continuing bloating of inventory. And there's three kinds of sellers. There's really two, the serious one and the delusional one. So the delusional sellers are they're throwing it out on the market at any price, and they're hoping somebody comes along. Those days on market are doubling and tripling from what we saw just 4 months ago.
And the delusional seller, are they getting validated by being rewarded these outrageous prices?
No, they're not getting any showings. They wonder what happened, and they want to fire their realtor.
Yeah, and so that happens. I mean, do you find from the agent community that there's that certain segment of the agent that really doesn't, they'll take on that overzealous or delusional seller just to capture the listing?
Right, because everybody heard, including the realtors, went to a bunch of seminars and said, well, here's how you get listings. Just list them at any price. Eventually, either A, the market comes up, or the seller gets serious, and you lower the price until it hits. But there's many of them, especially in the luxury market, a whole different dynamic, where they don't have to sell. If they get their price, they get their price. They're not pressed by other financial situations. So There's, again, two segments of the market, luxury and non-luxury.
Yeah, interesting insights. Listeners, I want to tell you, Phil Immel from Prudential California Realty, 3 decades plus, but that moves him into that wise counselor category where he's been through different economic cycles, know where reality lies, and brings that level of professionalism to our marketplace. This segment brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured providing you on-time transportation services, not just limousine services, but all kinds of transportation services, from the luxury buses, shuttles, airport transfer. They're a fabulous company to partner with.
And if I could comment, I've got live experiences coming from LAX and calling them, and they've done a beautiful job. And I even used them for my wedding.
Nice.
And they did a wonderful job. Great company.
Best Chauffeured. Give us a call. You can reach us at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136 or at nelsonradio.com. We'll be right back.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license 0235301.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rear view mirror lights up with the blue and red. The arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld, nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio, heard on KTLK AM 1150. Phil Immel is co-hosting with me from Prudential California Realty. My name is Nelson, and we have a great guest coming up, and one that I love the inside story, if you will, in terms of just the journey traveled in bringing a development as magnificent as the Strand to the marketplace. And certainly those not involved in real estate think it's just that simple task.
Well, let me comment on Sam. Oh, you're going to...
Well, I was just going to say, it's a simple process, right?
Yeah.
Well, just a little subdivision map and a little bit of grading, and then all of a sudden you're putting sticks up in the air. Yeah, Sanford's rubbing his head going, oh my gosh, it's not that.
He goes, wrong show. Anyway, Sanford is a master at what he does professionally. He's a great guy, and he's a good dad as well. We know that from Indian Guide days, so we've gone back a bit.
Nice. Yeah, you guys have history. Well, I want to welcome Sanford Edward, the founder and CEO of the Strand at the Headlands. For those of you that haven't seen this magnificent development, it's down in the heart of Orange County, just to the south of the Ritz-Carlton and just to the north of Dana Point Harbor, right here in the city of Dana Point. And it's a fabulous development of custom homes staring out at the ocean. If it was a clear day, Phil, I think I could stand on my tiptoes and see Japan. What do you think?
Well, at least Catalina.
At least Catalina. So, Sanford, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask that question. You know, developments obviously have their story to tell, but I want to just turn back the clocks and just have you share a little bit about the history in terms of acquiring this magnificent piece of land and then launching the process of getting it approved for development.
Well, I bought the property in 1998, and it was formerly owned by the Chandler family, and that's the family that owned the LA Times before they sold it to the Chicago Tribune. They had owned the property for 60 years, and it was basically a private enclave for their friends from Pasadena.
How big a parcel?
121 acres.
121 acres.
A mile and a half of the coast. And they had fenced off. They had closed down the old trailer park that they used to use for a summer retreat. And they'd spent 20 years trying to get it approved. They finally got a project approved in 97. It got overturned in a referendum in the city of Dana Point by a group called Save the Headlands. And the rallying cry was there was going to be a 500-room hotel that was going to sit on the Headlands landmark. And shortly after Save the Headlands overturned the approvals, 3 of the Save the Headlands members got elected to the city council. And that's when I bought the property.
Nice.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
With that organization, obviously you're dealing with the environmentalists, the Coastal Commission. How long did it take to actually bring the project to where you could actually start your grading and people could actually start putting sticks up in the air?
Well, we got it done in record time. Most projects of this size going through the Coastal Commission take on average 6 to 7 years. And a good friend of mine, an older colleague, Barry Hahn, he did a project on Palos Verdes, which is now the site of the Donald Trump golf course and a hotel site next to it. Took him 11 years to get through the Coastal Commission. We got through the Coastal Commission in 2 years. Now, it took us 3.5 years to get through the city. You'd think typically it'd take you longer to get through the Coastal Commission, but we had a council when I bought the property that wasn't predisposed to cooperate with us.
And the vision for the property, it's changed in that planning, in those various phases of planning. But bring us to where we are today. How many lots? There isn't the 500-room resort like people feared.
Right. The property, when I bought it, was zoned to accommodate 370 homes and 2 500-room hotels. You know, we crafted a plan with input from the community, and we did that after building a public support group,
right,
where I virtually went to every HOA, every Chamber of Commerce, any type of public forum I could get, and I started to elicit the good people in town, not the extremists, to get involved, and a lot of good people in the city of Dana Point did get involved, and our plan never changed. We got it approved for a maximum of 125 custom lots, 1 90-room hotel, a small commercial site on PCH, and then we took the Headlands, which was the big controversial piece, we turned that into a conservation park.
In that conversation park, how many acres? I'm staring back at it just behind you as we do the interview from the Strand Beach Club, just with the Pacific Ocean to our back, the Headland Peninsula, I guess I'd call that, to our south. But that entire area now is a natural preserve?
Correct. In fact, that actually contains Dana Point, quote unquote. So the geographic landform that's Dana Point, the namesake of the town, is also commonly referred to as the Headlands. And the conservation park is about 32 acres. The overall parks and open space in the project is just under 70.
We're listening to Sanford Edward, the founder and CEO of the Strand at the Headlands development. And this project down here in Dana Point, right below the Ritz-Carlton and the Dana Point in Dana Harbor to our south. It is a fabulous piece of real estate, and it's been your vision, your dream for many, many years. Does that get in the way in terms of how you see this property turning out now, or is it evolving to be exactly what you hope for?
Well, I think it unfolds. You know, we made the decision early to save that landform, the Headlands. In terms of the actual construction of the homes, we sell people a custom lot, so they go get their own architect. They then have to go through our design review committee. So you can't really, we didn't do a project like the Irvine Company where you're just limited to 2 or 3 styles and everybody has a red tile roof.
Right.
So I didn't have a specific vision per se as to what the homes would look like, But growing up in Los Angeles, I like the fact that the nicer neighborhoods have this vibrancy that's really a byproduct of it being a little more eclectic, as long as the design is good and authentic. I'm very pleased with the way it's turned out, and I've got a ton of positive feedback from the community, particularly as it relates to the parks and the open space, and we built 3 miles of coastal trails. So I'm pleased.
Phil, what's it like for you? You're now representing some of the sellers here and some of the buyers, and for you to come in and bring people, there's certainly a large international presence of people that have been brought to this project. There's also people from around the country, and so in that introduction of the Headlands, what's it like from your eyes?
Well, from a realtor's eyes, it's very dynamic. First of all, there's 8, 9, or 10 locations. This is 11 or 12. I mean, you can't carve out a better chunk of land in a more perfect climate zone probably anywhere in the world. And it's 24-hour guard gated, so it gives privacy, security. You've got some great resorts, being the Ritz-Carlton, of course, that we could reach out and touch from here. You've got the St. Regis, the Montage Resort. You have an environment that people worldwide who've been successful want to come and build and design their own home and have a beach home that kind of reminds them of how they grew up, maybe, or how they wish they would have grown up, and they can come here and fulfill that dream. And still they're halfway between L.A. and San Diego and John Wayne Airport, so it's great. It's a beautiful community. I think Sanford and his team have done a phenomenal job through thick and thin markets to make this place very special. And, the price range of the lots and the homes they represent that. But when you look worldwide at Manhattan real estate or, go to many countries worldwide, this is a real special place and still actually a great value relative to other locations.
And when you think about 1.5 miles of coastline, that's precious real estate. It simply can't be replaced.
As Will Rogers says, buy land. They ain't making any more of it.
Exactly.
Especially at the Strand.
Sanford, Edward, I want to thank you for being on the show, sharing your vision and the dream come true now with people developing these beautiful estate properties. And right here on the beach, it's just a sensational sight when you can stare out at the ocean. Mesmerizing. That's Sanford Edward from the Strand at the Headlands, and we're broadcasting right here from the Strand Beach Club. You can reach us at Nelson Radio at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or jump onto our website at nelsonradio.com. We'll have some great video of this project and the real estate that's still available. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld, nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license number 0235301.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio. We're broadcasting from the Strand Beach Club down here at the Headlands, just south of the Ritz-Carlton and the beautiful Dana Point Harbor. I'm with my co-host Phil Immel, and it is one spectacular place to be broadcasting from.
You know, of all the shows we've done, Rob, I mean, you finally found the best location on planet Earth.
We've got the Pacific Ocean right behind us and this beautiful clubhouse with this affinity pool looking up at the clubhouse itself. And some of the most beautiful estates.
Look at all the radio fans up there. My gosh, they're everywhere.
Exactly. This segment brought to you by a very special restaurant right here in Dana Point, Luciano's. And I want to tell you, Phil, 24 years ago, this coming October, I was there for my rehearsal dinner.
Really, one of my favorite places. Very romantic, very beautiful, great food.
Food here right in Dana Point. Luciana's Ristorante. Check that out. We've been talking about this project. We just had Sanford Edward, the founder and developer of the Strand project. And really, I would put is somebody that can look at this kind of property and have the vision for what it could be, especially after going through all of the approval process and the Coastal Commission.
But just the tenacity you have to have as a developer anywhere in America anymore, but especially oceanfront community in a neighborhood that in Southern California with the Coastal Commission and all the regulatory bodies. You got to give kudos to Sanford. He's just an amazing entrepreneur with great tenacity. And
you think about it, in the Southland here, Camp Pendleton being maybe the only remaining undeveloped parcel of land here, 1.5 miles of beachfront property, and spectacular, doesn't give it justice. We wanted to carry our show's theme of revitalizing, and certainly this project represents that. And looking at the city of Dana Point, it's about to go through its revitalization with the kickoff of the development of the village area and the downtown area. And we have on our show right now Bill Brough, one of the city council members from the city of Dana Point, and Mike Powers, the CEO of Greenfield Communications, a fiber optics company that's bringing in today's technology in developments around the country.
More like tomorrow's technology.
So I want to welcome Mike and Bill. And I just wanted to ask you, let's start off with you, Bill. In terms of looking at the city of Dana Point, it's gone through the recession like everybody else, and now it's on sound footing and moving forward with development of a downtown. What's a project look like in bringing that to the market?
Well, about 10 years ago, the City Council approved a subcommittee called the Town Center Subcommittee. They held about 30 months of public outreach hearings, got input from the community, finally developed a plan that was sent to the City Council and approved in 2006. The California Coastal Commission approved the plan in 2008. But with the economy and some other priorities in the city, the project stalled. I was elected to the City Council in 2010, and in my third year, the number one issue that residents and business owners in town talk to me about is the town center. So last year, what I did is I got these people that asked me about the town center, and we formed a group called the Dana Point Town Center Association. My good friend Mike Powers here is the vice chair of that. And the town center is a project about 10 acres on Pacific Coast Highway in Del Prado. And the idea is to make it a very dense, urban, vibrant downtown Retail on the first floor, 2 levels of offices or condos above, outdoor dining, pedestrian friendly, something you'd see at El Paseo in Palm Desert or 3rd Street in Santa Monica.
Right.
That's the vision for the town center. So in December, I asked my colleagues on the city council to put an item on the agenda because I believe now was the time to do it. We were very strong financially. We had about a year and a half worth of reserves in the bank, about $35 million. And I said, we don't have to do it all at once. Let's phase the project out. Let's get some bids. It's been a while since we talked about it. And with the help of the association, we put some pressure on the city council, and we were able to unanimously approve moving forward with the project in February.
You know what's so fantastic, Phil, is you look at a lot of the beachside communities, and they don't have that downtown feel. Laguna Beach naturally does, based on the how
topography.
It's the topography. But Newport Beach or Corona del Mar really doesn't have that.
Like a central core, and it's kind of like Carmel too. I remember when they were designing this plan a number of years ago before the economy stalled. If you've been to Carmel and that type of thing, it's just beautiful. You could walk. It's pedestrian friendly. It's car friendly, still parking friendly, but it just has activity, it has electricity, it has life to it.
Yeah, exactly. And Mike, let me ask you, Mike Powers, CEO of Greenfield Communications, as you now serve as the vice chair for this committee to bring this development to the marketplace, challenging project?
Yeah, it is. But what's really nice to see is, like Bill said, we spoke to Bill and asked, where does this project stand? And a bunch of us, 10 of us, got together and formed Dana Point Town Center. Go to the website, danapointtowncenter.org, and it gives updates on how the project is moving. And it really speaks to when you get some concerned stakeholders in a city to be able to come together and move a project forward. And working with the city to make the necessary steps to start the work. It's not easy. But I think if you work hand in hand in conjunction with the city, understanding the residents' concerns, the business owners' concerns, you work through these problems, and we're at a point now, like Bill said, we're going to start work pretty soon. So the dream is slowly becoming a reality over the next couple of months and year.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. You can reach out to us and contact us direct at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or at nelsonradio.com. And we'll have video as well of some of the projects. What is the vision around the corner? I wanted to ask you, you bring tomorrow's technology into today's projects. Give us a snapshot of what that looks like with your fiber optics.
Sure. So whether it's a new development or it's a municipal development, such as Town Center in Dana Point, we can bring fiber optics to whether it's a residential, commercial, retail area. And it's basically future-proofing that community, whether it's residential or commercial. And it allows very fast internet speeds. And slowly, more and more people are going to receive all content over the internet. And we're that conduit that allows residents, towns, municipalities to receive that. And it's a private company, so we compete against the bigger companies. And because we're smaller, we get to have it's more customer-focused. And it's very fast data speeds. It's fiber. So hopefully it will also advance what we're doing in Dana Point as well.
We've heard about the smart house. Now we have the smart city. Phil, Bill, do you feel like a kid in a candy store in the context of now this is finally coming to fruition? And construction starts, next month, right?
Yes. Well, it's double-edged sword because as government moves slowly, we see that it's nearly taken a decade to get us to this point. But what I'm most pleased about is we essentially started this effort in December. It was approved in February. 2 government agencies, the South Coast Water District and the City of Dana Point, we put shovels in the ground next month. The Water District will start in September, increase the water and sewer lines along Pacific Coast Highway. Then they will move to Del Prado. Then the city begins the street improvements, lights, sidewalks, etc. in February. There's one issue that we have to talk about. We only fund 2/3 of the project right now. Del Prado, from a city point of view, is not funded. We're looking for another $7 million, and I know our group and the city is looking for ways to find that money, not to replenish all our reserves, but we do have some more work to do. But I'm very pleased that this project has moved very quickly, and construction starts next month.
I just wanted to mention briefly that Dana Point is a very business-friendly city, and I've lived in many Southern California cities from San Diego through Los Angeles. This city has really got it together. If you're looking for a retirement home in a coastal environment with a business-friendly and business-friendly council, it's very much in harmony down here. So come join us in Dana Point.
There's the call to action. You're listening to Nelson Radio. We've been showcasing the revitalization of the city of Dana Point with their new village downtown area coming. Bill Brough, I want to thank you as an active member of the City Council bringing this to the marketplace. Thanks for being with us. And Mike Powers, the CEO of Greenfield Communications, bringing that smart technology to the city as well. You can reach us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And check out nelsonradio.com. We'll be able to share the mission, vision, and dreams of the city of Dana Point with their revitalization. We'll be right back here in just a minute.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower costs. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license 0235301.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's office of Michael L. Feld. Nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio, heard on KTLK AM 1150, Saturdays from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and we are moving into our Coach's Corner, one of our famed segments at Nelson Radio.
Right, this is where you get the absolute insight from the real pros of the world.
There you have it. This is my co-host, Phil Immel, for Prudential California Realty in Monarch Beach, and I want to introduce Phil, longtime NFL quarterback, 17 years in the league, Steve Beuerlein. Unbelievable career, has been with 6 franchises over the 17 years, and I have to beg for forgiveness because I don't know. I know you were made the Pro Bowl. Did you slide on a championship ring?
I did.
Tell me about that. You got to share the story.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys, it was the 1992 season, so it would have been the 93 Super Bowl 29, I think. I get confused with my numbers, but I think it was Super Bowl 29.
But you know you got the ring.
I got the ring. I didn't bring it tonight, unfortunately. I was given a little grief about that earlier by one of the pretty ladies here watching the show.
Right.
Or watching us do the show. But, yeah, the 1992 Dallas Cowboys, it was the first of the Cowboys' 3 Super Bowl years over a 4-year period. And it was a great experience to to go through that and to experience that. Even though I was a backup for Troy Aikman that year, I was a nice big part of what was going on in the revitalization of the Dallas Cowboys, and to have that ring, kind of the culmination of every little boy's dream to be able to be on that podium with the ring. And for me, it timed out great too. It was almost kind of divine intervention. It was the Super Bowl was right here in Pasadena. We played the Buffalo Bills, so I was home and got to have that experience with a lot of not only my family but my best friends from growing up. And so it was a neat overall experience. And I grew up a huge UCLA fan, believe it or not. I'm not going to talk about that other.
There's people turning over Notre Dame alumni right now.
Well, it's okay. The Notre Dame people are okay as long as as long as I'm not touting USC, I'm okay. So I was a UCLA fan growing up in the Rose Bowl, and to be able to play a game of that magnitude in the Rose Bowl was spectacular and a great experience.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Talk to us about revitalizing. A 17-year career. You were with 6 different NFL franchises, different set of offensive coordinators, different set of quarterback coaches. You had to morph and change across your career.
Definitely, and I think that for a person in my position, that was the key. Adaptability, to be able to adjust to new environments and be able to bounce back from adversity. Reestablish or revitalize, as you're talking about here, your career.
Right.
And I had many opportunities during the course of my career. The great thing about it was that I wasn't more talented than everybody else. That's not what allowed me to play 17 years in the league. What allowed me to play that long was the fact that, number one, I was able to be fairly durable. I had a lot of injuries over the course of my career, but most of them were done in the off season, and I was able to always answer the bell, so to speak. But most importantly I was a good teammate. I think most people would agree with that, and there was always a coach that wanted me on their team. And so I always had an opportunity because they realized that I was a good team guy, a good locker room guy, and a guy they could count on. And so even if I had experienced some sort of failure along the way, they knew that I had kind of the inner strength and the ability to kind of bounce back from it, and I was going to be a good, positive influence on that team. And that's why you last 17 years in the NFL.
Phil and I go through this in business. When you look at conducting yourself in the scope of residential real estate, there's teams of people that are surrounding us, whether that be the lending community like Academy Mortgage with my company, or with the escrows and title insurances and home warranties and appraisers and so forth. With being on the field, I have to ask you this question. You must have an eye for seeing performance, identifying performance, but is it easier now as an analyst, or is it easier from the field, picking out that talent and being able to coordinate it?
I think you either have the ability to see it or you don't. And it's like having a great eye for real estate or having a great eye for whatever it is that you do in your professional career. You're in that position as a player or as an analyst because you bring something special to the table. You have a unique ability. And to be able to, as I am now as an analyst for CBS, to be able to convey that to a person who may not have quite the understanding of why a person is successful or not, or why a team is playing well or not, to be able to communicate that is really the art of being a broadcaster. And as a player, sure, you have to have the ability to identify matchups and be able to, as you become a more veteran player, coaches kind of come to you when they talk about the younger player. What do you think about this guy? Do you think does he have a chance? Does he have what it takes to be successful? Can we count on him? Well, if you've been around for 10 or 12 years in the league, they're going to rely on your opinion quite heavily. They're going to say, what do you think? We're trying to decide between these two guys. Who do you like? And you have to have the confidence and the ability to make a sound argument and make a decision for them. So, yeah, that's a big part of being able to analyze and understand why people are either successful or not in that particular profession.
You're listening to Steve Beuerlein, NFL famed quarterback, Super Bowl champion. You can reach us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. One more question before I let you go here, and it's again in that vein of revitalizing performance. In the business community, the community at large, we're seeing that the city of Dana Point revitalizing their look and the presentation of the city. How do you coach that? How do you get people inspired, get them to work collectively like you do with your teams?
I think it's all about people. It really comes down to people and being able to find a way to get other people to see the vision and buy into it. And that comes from enthusiasm. It comes from confidence. It comes from competence as well. So getting good people in the right positions, not only from a decision-making standpoint, but from an exposure standpoint, from getting the word out that, hey, there's something special going on here in Dana Point. We bought into it. I live here in Dana Point, and I'm excited about it. I was had an opportunity to come out here and work for Willis Insurance Services right here. We're in the Orange County office, and Willis is a huge international insurance broker, commercial insurance, and it gave me a chance to get back home and evaluate where I wanted to be in Southern California. Well, I met so many people from South County down here that were fired up about what was going on in this area. That made me start looking closely into it. Hey, what's going on down there? And then I met some other people in Dana Point. Dana Point is a place you want to be. Well, next thing you know, here we are. I'm living in Dana Point. So I think people are key.
I want you to freeze frame that. I'm going to ask you to stay with us because I want to talk to you, coming full circle back to real estate in terms of moving from one side of the U.S. to the other and some of the things that you faced in the real estate sector. You're with Steve Beuerlein, famed NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion, 17-year veteran to the league, right here on Nelson Radio. You can reach us direct at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136 or at nelsonradio.com. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with quarterback Steve Beuerlein.
Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Unlike agencies that represent one carrier and can only provide one quote, Insurance Incorporated has appointments with the nation's leading insurance carriers, giving you the power of choice. This means more options and savings for you, offering coverage that's both comprehensive and affordable. Their policies for apartments include protection against loss or rents, accusation of wrongful eviction and wrongful entry, vandalism, theft, and slip and fall claims. Show your value as a property manager by being proactive, saving your clients' money and protecting their assets. They can even assist your tenants with renter's insurance. And homeowners, they can save you up to 40% on premiums, including often overlooked liability coverage. Insurance Incorporated are the residential and apartment insurance experts. Call 877-428-8778. That's 877-428-8778 and enjoy better coverage at lower cost. That's Insurance Incorporated, 877-428-8778 or log on to insuranceinc.com. DOI license 0235301.
This is Nelson from Nelson Real Estate Radio, and I want to have a very serious conversation with you. Let me paint the word picture. The drinks were innocent enough, just relaxing with friends. Really, I felt fine. Being drunk wasn't even a consideration. Then the rearview mirror lights up with the blue and red, the arrest, cuffed, and in jail. Really? Me? All too frequent, we wish in the somehow, someway category for a do-over, a mulligan to make a different decision. Let me introduce you to Orange County's Office of Michael L. Feld, nearly 2 decades serving in the Orange County District Attorney's Office as a prosecutor, now fighting for your rights in criminal defense. Recognized as one of Orange County's top 5 criminal defense attorneys, ready to represent you against his former colleagues. Save the embarrassment, the potential conviction, the record, the possible loss of job. Call Mike Feld direct for your legal mulligan, a chance to make it right. 949-278-5559. That's 949-278-5559 for the law office of Michael L. Feld. 949-278-5559, or you can text the letters OCDUI to 313131.
The Nelson Show is brought to you by Best Chauffeured. Best Chauffeured offers personal chauffeur services for corporate events, large and small, and all types of people, not just celebrities. So next time you just want to relax and enjoy the ride, please call on Best Chauffeured Worldwide. It's effortless transportation and first-class service every time. Call 866-323-BEST. That's 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com. Mention KTLK's Nelson Show and receive a special discount. 866-323-BEST or online at bestchauffeured.com.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio, heard right here on KTLK AM 1150. And I want to welcome back NFL quarterback, 17-year veteran Steve Beuerlein. And we're going to take a little bit of a spin on Stump the Experts because I wanted to, Steve, get your insights as you relocated your family. Wife, 4 children, you're out in North Carolina. You want to come home to Southern California, but that's a big move. And just give us a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, what it was like to come back into your home county and find the place that you're going to call home.
Well, you know, when I finished my career, I finished with 3 years at the Denver Broncos, and I was a backup quarterback there. I had a few injury issues, and I just was trying to decide the last couple of years if I wanted to stick with it and keep playing. But one thing that we knew when I was done playing football, we wanted to move back to North Carolina, where we had kind of raised our kids.
Right.
But the intention all along, even though we wanted to go back to North Carolina initially, was to eventually get back to the West Coast because my wife was from Northern California and I was from right here in Southern California, Orange County. So we knew at some point we wanted to get back this way. Well, as the post-career kind of went along, it didn't seem like it was going to happen. And we were getting more and more ingrained in the community in Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful city. A little bit too hot and humid for me in the summertime.
Right. But the 90
I would dream
days.
about the California summers every year. But we finally had an opportunity to really think hard about coming back out here. And when we decided to come back out here, we knew that we wanted to be in Orange County. Didn't know exactly where. Of course, you take schools into consideration. And, I went to Servite High School in Anaheim and been a product of private, Catholic school education. And there's so many options out here in Orange County for those type of schools as well. So that was a big factor for us. But more importantly, we wanted to make sure that we were in the right neighborhood, the right environment for our kids, where we all would be happy. We knew we were going to probably have to make a little bit of a drive, a little bit of an effort to get to school. But the bottom line is we knew we wanted to be South County. And
now, you've been all over the U.S. with your career and now coming back into California. Phil, you'll deal with this with people relocating from different sectors of the U.S. Did you face sticker shock all over again?
We did, but I was kind of ready for it because when I came out of Notre Dame, I was drafted by the Raiders in L.A.
Right.
And so I had my first home, my first check that I had to write for a home was in Los Angeles and in the Manhattan Beach area.
Right.
So I was through that shock at one point before in my life. But definitely, the timing was probably as good as could have been possible from this standpoint because the market was down. But we felt that on the other side of it, selling in Charlotte. It was a down market in Charlotte when we left, so we didn't really get value on our home out there. But coming out here, we were able to make up for it on the other side because the market was down. It's now starting to come back. I think we timed it about perfectly because we bought our home just over a year ago in Dana Point. And
you hit a bullseye.
We hit a bullseye. Yeah, we're already starting to realize what a good decision
Probably
that was.
20-30% already.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're exactly right. Yeah.
And, Phil is not going to toot his own horn. Phil Immel from Prudential California Realty right here in our backyard in Monarch Beach. But how dependent were you on the agent community to relearn what community you wanted to be in? I know that you came here rented first so you could find that out. What was that like, just trying to resource information of where you were going to land and call home?
Well, it was really important for us to not make a hasty decision. We wanted to be in South County. We didn't know enough about what had been happening in the last 15, 20 years to really make an educated decision that quickly. So we said we're going to rent for a year, and we're going to really just check out all the different areas and see where we really want to be. And we had great help from friends, from family, from our real estate agent, and we just kind of fell into a perfect situation right here in Dana Point. And, man, I'll tell you, it could not have worked out better. We're really happy.
And, Steve, professionally, I think the advice that you got and the steps you took was perfect because if you're relocating from out of area, even if you grew up here, things have changed dramatically. And to do a renting, I call it to clients, I tell them, take a test drive. Do rent a house here for get the feel for it. Even if the property went up 10 or 20%, you don't want to make $1 million or more mistake on a given property. Take your time, get settled, make sure the wife is happy, the kids are settled, and before you really pick the permanent situation, because you can't just make rapid decisions when you start buying homes in this category.
Right, and you used the word a couple times, but you want to make sure you get settled, but you don't want to settle for less than what you really want.
Yeah,
if you make a quick decision, a lot of times you're settling for something that really may not be the perfect fit.
Take the test drive like Steve did.
There you go. That's right.
Welcome back to Southern California. Steve Beuerlein, thanks for being with us. Appreciate your insights both on and off the field. Good luck with the analyst work that you're doing now, and looking forward to those insights coming up into the NFL season coming up. Thanks so much.
You got it. Glad to be a part of it. Thanks.
As we close out this show, I want to draw special attention, and as we always do each week, Phil, we bring our focus over to Moshi, Tanzania, right here in Orange County. Rita Langland started this orphanage down in Moshi, supports 50 kids, right in the epicenter of the AIDS pandemic. So many of these children, and like the little boy that we're showcasing today, little Ray, lost both mom and dad to the AIDS virus and was found street side, just abandoned, had given up, and is now in this orphanage, clean drinking water, education, clothing, a safe harbor to land and now be developed, and it's just this vibrant, excited young man. You'll see his picture on our website at nelsonradio.com. Want to thank you for being with the show. Phil, the real estate guru. The guru is back with Nelson Radio. And then, of course, gaining the insights of Sanford Edward as he had the vision to look at this 1.5 miles of coastline and thinking it could be all of these things with the custom homes that have been built here as we broadcast from the Strand at the Beach Club. It's an unbelievable, beautiful coastside community. And then, of course, to our producer, Phil Giangran, and our production manager, Adam Evans, thanks for your work. We're going to be right back here next week. You can reach us at 888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. And we're going to have some great video of this piece of property, of this 120-odd acres of beautiful coastline property. Look forward to it. We'll look forward to being back with you next week.